There's a lot of content in this space that's essentially decorative. Looks like coverage, reads like coverage, but nobody actually went anywhere or did anything. It's just repackaged service level stuff. And I got tired of that pretty early on, so the whole premise of what I do here is different. Every platform I talk about is something I've been inside or running real volume over real time. And the area I keep coming back to, the one that I think deserves a lot more serious attention than it gets, is non-custodial swaps. No KYC, no accounts, no custody. There's one platform specifically that's been part of my regular rotation for several months now, and today I want to show what working with it actually looks like, and then break down the structural logic behind why this model operates the way it does. And I'll also get into something I've developed over time, a personal framework for distinguishing legitimate services from everything else in this segment, because that distinction is genuinely non-trivial.
All right, let's run the transaction. USDT to tron pair. It's a clean, high clarity that walks through the flow without any complications. So coming to this window here, setting the exchange pair, USDT on the send side, that's locked in. TRX on the receive side, good. And immediately below that, the full rate detail surfaces, current rate, fee structure, estimated settlement time. Okay, let me just read through that once. Yeah, everything's where it should be. Moving on. Next, receiving address for TRX goes into this field here. There's also a refund address option, which is worth filling in, and an email field for status notifications. Just a second. Okay, all of that's in. Next step. So this is the exchange details screen, full summary before committing. Let me go through it now. Rate, addresses, fees. Yeah, that all checks out correctly. Accept the privacy policy and create order. Okay, order's open. Platform is waiting on the incoming transfer. Okay, now I'm sending that through from my side.
All right, that's done. Hitting the confirm button, and there it is. It's processing. From this point, the exchange executes automatically, and the tron routes to my address. Should be a couple of minutes. And while that's running, this is the right moment to actually explain what's happening structurally, because the mechanics here are what make this meaningfully different. The whole thing comes down to one concept: custody. A non-custodial platform never holds the funds at any point for any duration. There's no intermediate wallet the assets pass through, no window where control transfers away from my wallet. The transaction goes from my address, executes on-chain, and the output lands back at my address. The platform's role in that sequence is purely coordination. It's not a participant in the asset flow, just an orchestrator of it. The contrast with centralized exchanges is pretty stark when you lay it out directly. On a centralized exchange, depositing funds means handing them to the exchange's infrastructure, and every step that follows, KYC, account setup, withdrawal limits, is a layer of dependency that now sits between me and the assets. Non-custodial collapses all of that. No third-party exposure in the transaction path, no personal data attached to the activity, no platform-level risk that touches the funds. If this service disappeared overnight, it wouldn't matter for anything in my wallet because nothing in my wallet was ever inside their system. And then there's the other side of operating in this space, which is that the threat landscape is genuinely serious, and I think it's under-discussed. After years of working through this methodically, the picture is, it's not clean. Fake platforms aren't outliers. Some of them are indexed right there in search results, some circulate through channels that look completely credible, and the better constructed ones are built carefully enough that a fast check won't surface anything wrong. The environment also makes this harder than it should be. Development velocity in crypto is legitimately fast. New infrastructure categories appear constantly, terminology shifts, and that creates surface area that bad actors know how to use. This pattern isn't unique to crypto, it's just what happens when the gap between technical complexity and general awareness gets wide enough. So that's the full picture. What I walked through today is just one transaction, but it sits inside a much longer track record. Over 60 completed exchanges across the majority of supported pairs, run under different conditions over several months. And the reason I keep using this platform isn't any single feature, it's that sustained use revealed no ceiling. Most platforms in this space have a point where the reliability frays, where the consistency you saw in the first few transactions quietly stops being consistent. That inflection point never came here. Clean execution across the board, settlement inside the window every time, nothing that required working around. And that's the only thing that actually matters to me at this point. Not what a platform says about itself, but what shows up when it's being used regularly by someone who's paying close attention. That's the review. That's all it is.